Hello everyone, welcome back to the Story Rift. Recently I finished the Expanse series, so today we are going to be ranking all 9 of the Expanse series. Now keep in mind I have not read the short story collection I think that they have, so this is just going to be the 9 main books. Now obviously this is just my opinion, so if you disagree that's fine, you can tell me in the comments. It's still my list though. And secondly, I have not looked at any other ranking video or review or list before this video, so if my list is completely different from everybody else's, I don't know. I'm just giving you my list. So I don't know. If you guys agree, let me know. But anyways, let's get right into this. So number 9 is Babylon's Ashes. I would hold up the book, but I don't have that one because I got it from the library. It's the only book I don't have. For me, I think the problem with this novel is it lacks pacing. It kind of feels like the parts that are building up to the conclusion of the novel feel very not forced, but just kind of not as interesting as the end of the book. The Free Navy, with the Marco and all the other OPA leaders, it isn't very interesting to me. I wasn't really attached to them. It was, I liked I thought it was interesting when they dropped the meteors or whatever, or asteroids or whatever on Earth. I thought that was interesting, but as for the Free Navy itself, I'm not that really into it. I really like Paul and her family. It was a weird kind of dynamic on her ship, but I thought it was one of the more enjoyable parts of the novel. The main plot of this novel isn't great. I think coming off of the Nemesis games, it felt very kind of, I don't know, boring and not very interesting to me. I also love how later in this novel, Holden sort of, spoiler alert by the way, spoiler alert for this entire video, Holden replaces Johnson when he passes away in this novel, and it's a really interesting arc for his character, sort of taking more of the political route, even though he doesn't really want to take the political route. It's a very Holden thing, if that makes sense. Now into number 8, it's Leviathan Falls. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not. The highlight of this novel is the old crew getting back together after Holden was on Laconia. It feels nice to really have the main group back together. Teresa is a favorite character of mine, so getting to see her relationship with her father and her being more involved with the plot in the end of the novel was really very heartwarming to me. While I liked Elvie in this novel, I think her arc in the previous novels, especially Kabola Burn, were much better. She just kind of feels kind of samey in this novel. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of her arc in this novel. As for the ending, I think it's a good, decent ending, but I just don't think it's up there with some of the best endings. I wish they would have done something maybe a little more interesting. But overall, I mean, I really enjoyed this novel. I just think the ending could have been a little bit better. Number 7 in my list is Abaddon's Gate. For me, Bull was kind of a forgettable character. Yeah, no, I just can't really remember much about his character, if I'm being honest. I mean, I enjoyed him somewhat. I don't know how the fan base feels about him. I just wasn't crazy about his character in general. The highlight of the novel is really Clarissa Mao and her, wanting to get revenge on Holden, and also Anna, I think she's like a priest or something. Yeah, she's a priest. I don't know why, priest or something. She is a priest. Their relationship really works in this novel. Anna and all the other religious figures in this novel also really help to elevate it for me. I love when science fiction really goes into the religious aspect of things, even though, we're not on Earth anymore. I think that whole thing in science fiction when books and stuff do go into religion, I think is really interesting. And Anna is such a great character, and her sort of viewpoint on the universe as a whole really helps to kind of bring a new perspective. Also, learning more about the slow zone and just the gates in general really helps to flesh out the proto-molecule from just this, I don't know, it helps to really set up the next plot as well. I thought it was really interesting. Number 6 is Tiamat's Wrath. The parts of this novel with Holden on Laconia really carry it for me. Seeing Holden in a different environment and showing how Laconia is run from the inside really helps to fledge out the Empire. Teresa and her relationship with Amos in this novel really, I think, is one of the key highlights for me, and it really, I don't know, it brought a great relationship dynamic, and with her questioning Laconia and even her father and the proto-molecule, I don't know, it's a very interesting aspect, I think, to bring to these novels, and Teresa is really a great viewpoint. I really didn't like the Alex, Naomi, and Bobby parts of this novel. They weren't bad, but it was I found myself wanting to go back to the Laconia chapters after reading like an Alex chapter. I also really enjoyed Bobby's, not really enjoy, I liked Bobby's death in this novel. I thought it was very well done and definitely a fitting end for her character. Number 5 is Persepolis Rising. I think my favorite part about this novel is that it really shakes up the whole series in general. Everything feels really fresh, and it also brings up some really great uh, tension between Naomi, Holden, and Bobby with the whole, giving Bobby the ship thing, but now they have to stay at Medina Station, and I don't know, it's a very interesting way to kind of spice up the character dynamics with characters that we've known for a while. Singh was also a really great character. He's like the administrator from Laconia, and his kind of like his arc is very interesting. And I think him as a character, I don't think he's really a bad person. I just think he's really misguided and kind of on the wrong side. And obviously, he dies at the end of the novel. Spoiler alert. I thought that was really well done as well. Holden getting captured was also a highlight for me. I felt like it really added some personal stakes to the plot. Clarissa's death was also really done well. Really a tragic character and a fitting end as well. I feel like this series is really good at character deaths. The ending was also a great way to really set up the next book while also giving this novel more of a finished state at the end, which some novels I think, especially if there's a sequel to it, it can kind of get muddy. Number 4 is Kabola Burn. I love the setting, Ilis, of this book really well. I really like the alien planet. I think it's a very interesting place to take this series. Elvie's a really great character, and she has a really kind heart, and you can really tell that she's a really genuine good person, even though she's not as experienced as some of the other characters. Her relationship with FaZe is also really funny. It was really good, and like the parts with how she's like, I don't know, just like fawning over Holden. I thought that was really funny and really interesting, like character dynamic between them. As for the plot, I think it really picks up once the planet starts experiencing some environmental factors, like when they go blind and everything, and it adds a lot of tension to the novel. Yeah, Mercury is also an asshole, but he's a great villain for the novel, and I think it really builds tension and a great dynamic between his leadership style and Holden's. Number 3 is Caliban's War. This has my favorite introduction with Bobby and her team being killed by the proto-molecule monster at the beginning. What a great way to start the novel. Abasarala is obviously really amazing in this novel, and I just love her character so much. One of my favorite side characters, probably like my favorite side character in any novel ever. She's really great and adds a different dynamic to the books. Prax is a highlight as well for me, and his search for his daughter, it adds a very personal touch to this series in general, and really helps this novel to stand out from the rest. I think this novel also helps to bring a little more nuance to the situation in the solar system, and especially the political drama in this novel. I think really helped to focus the series in general. Also, the reveal of Miller at the end, or like the ghost Miller, I thought was really well done. I was definitely really excited to see Miller again. Number 2 is Nemesis Games. This is probably the most personal of the novels, and why it's probably my second favorite novel in the series. We see the characters really split up this time, and it really helps to, bring some, fresh perspectives into the series and really take it in a different direction. Amos's journey on Earth with Clarissa in this is really probably my favorite part of the books, because we get to see Amos and his, the surroundings he grew up in and kind of why he is the way that he is. And his arc with Clarissa in this is just, like I said, amazing. We also get Holden with Fred Johnson more in this book, which their dynamic is one of my favorites in this series. So getting to see them interact more with each other really helps make this novel stand out from the rest. Alex's arc with his wife is really amazing in this novel, even though he doesn't get as much time, I feel like, in this novel. I really do enjoy his going back to his ex and her kind of rejecting him. It makes the series feel really grounded, and I'm really glad that they took that approach. Of course, Bobby coming back is just one of the highlights for me. I mean, anytime they have Bobby in these books, it's amazing. She kind of takes a hiatus for a little bit, but I'm glad to see her back in this. Naomi really gets to shine in this novel as well, with her relationship with Marco and her son Philip. I don't know. It's a very interesting way to kind of expand on her character, and I found myself actually enjoying her character much more after this novel. The plot in general is really good of this novel, and it really helps to set up future conflicts, and also just helps to bring a more, it brings gravity to the series, because after Kabbalah Burn, it's kind of like they were kind of in a weird spot where they kind of had to do something new, and deciding to have like the meteors fall on Earth was a very good way to shake up the series in general. Number one is Leviathan Wakes. Yeah, I know, shocker, Leviathan Wakes is number one. Easily one of the best science fiction novels ever made, and I really think this is just the best in the series, hands down. The destruction of the Canterbury and, just the plot surrounding this novel and bringing in, bringing the crew together, who's like, they're just like such a misfit, group of people, and it really helps just like distinguish this novel from other novels where you get a ton of different perspectives. Holden is such an amazing character, especially in this novel. Just having like a very morally, driven person who does things that other people would consider stupid, but he does in the sake of, being a good person. It makes him such an interesting character, and I think some authors really try to shy away from like morally good characters, but Holden is an example of when it's really done well. And of course, the highlight for this novel is obviously Miller. Seeing this beat down detective who kind of is very, I don't know, just detached from the world, really find a new purpose with when he searches for Julie. I don't know, it's just one of the most interesting arcs a character's ever had in a novel I've read. And obviously the ending where Miller dies and Ceres crashes onto Venus, I just think that was such a well done ending, and a gut wrenching ending, but also, the ending really sets up the series in general and really kicks off this series in a great direction. So yeah, that was my list. If you hate me, I'm sorry. This is just my list. Like I said, I don't know what other people think about this series. I just kind of want to go in blind. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to leave a like and comment and subscribe if you want to, I'll be posting videos at least once a week from here on out unless something drastic changes. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.